Hi, Solo P1. Welcome to F1 Flaming Tarmac, episode 72. This weekend is going to be a special weekend for Ferrari. If you know the rumours, they're having numerous of upgrades this weekend because we know that Ferrari hasn't really been at its best this season. I think as Lewis Hamilton fans and even Charles Leclerc fans, we had high hopes for Ferrari this season. There was rumours before the season started that they were going to put everything into this season, that it was going to be all or nothing. We haven't seen anything, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the rumours. We're going to talk about the facts. And let's get this mic right. And we're going to talk about all that and the weekend, the Spanish Grand Prix race weekend. So, before we start the video, I want everybody to hit the subscribe. And if you're listening on the podcast, the audio, Spotify, I want you to recommend the audio and comment on it as well and leave some feedback. That really helps out on the channel as well. So, let's start with what happened at Monaco, really, because usually when we do this preview, we talk about the Monaco Grand Prix as well. I'm in the previous Grand Prix. And I see a lot of hate on online, frustration. And it's understandable. It's understandable why people are feeling frustrated by Monaco. I've been feeling frustrated with Monaco from years, a decade ago. The problem is with Monaco is it's never going to get fixed. They can try and change it as much as they want. Maybe a few sectors, make it a little bit wider, put a barrier, make the barrier wider so you can do some overtaking. But the fact is, the problem with Monaco is the cars are too big. The cars are too big. And while the cars are too big, we're going to have these problems at Monaco. And let's face it, the majority of people that watch Formula One actually watch it for the racing, don't like Monaco. The people on the TV and the people on the paddock, they love Monaco because it brings in a lot of money for the F1 franchise. We know Monaco is a land of billionaires, so it brings in a lot of money. So I get that part of it. But as a fan, watching as a fan, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. Now, there was rumours last year that was thinking about, it's actually going to be true, that next year they're going to start to make the cars a little bit smaller. So every year till up to 2030, they're going to try and make the cars smaller. So we'll see how that goes. If they do make it smaller, they have to make them really smaller, because if you go back to watch the old Monaco Grand Prix when Senna was racing Mansell, you couldn't really overtake then. Really, I think the weekend of Monaco is really wrapped up after qualifying. If you get pole, you've won. Basically, as long as you get your pit strategy correct, you've won the race. And that's Monaco for you. Yeah, and a lot of people are frustrated with these new rules that they brought in as well. They brought the rules where you mandatory pit stops. They have to do 2 mandatory pit stops. I think the idea was okay, but when you actually watch the race, it was a bit of a gimmick, and it showed. The feedback off the drivers, they didn't like it at all. Never made no difference. Max Verstappen said something last week that I've got to admit made me laugh. He said what we should do is everybody should go in Mario Kart. You know, if you're familiar with the Mario Kart franchise on Nintendo, I'm sure you have. We should all go in the Mario Kart and throw bananas at the back to trip everybody up. When he said that, I popped. I gotta admit, that was the only good, funny thing about the whole weekend, really, when Max Verstappen. I'm not even the biggest Max Verstappen fan, but it was funny. But a lot of the drivers not really happy with the track. He never really changed anything, these mandatory pit stops. So the only thing they can do really is make the cars smaller, which I think they are. They're going to make the cars smaller, and they have to try and make some space on Monaco to try and make it slightly bigger. If you actually look by the swimming pool section of Monaco, you can actually make that wider. There's a barrier there, like a mechanical barrier, where you can actually make it wider if you want to. Obviously, they're not going to knock no buildings down because it's Monaco, obviously. But they can make it a bit wider with the barriers slightly wider. But we'll see how that goes. But that was a Monaco Grand Prix. Brilliant for Lando Norris. Absolutely outstanding by Lando Norris, getting the win at Monaco. He got the pole and he got the win. And yeah, man, congratulations to McLaren. They're looking like the favourites for the title. I think there's only 2 points behind Oscar Piastri now, so the game is on. I think that Lando Norris really needed this weekend. He really needed this weekend because nothing was going right for him. And he finally nailed it. He got that win, and he got that big win and pole as well. Just drinking my coffee. So let's move on to this weekend, Spain. F1 2025 Spanish Grand Prix. Charles, Ferrari's been busy really in the news. Charles made a big statement in the news today, this weekend. He made it today as well. He said that the team should be built around not just me, but around Lewis as well. And when I heard that, I thought that's unity. That's the unity between the two teams. Because when Lewis went to Ferrari, the rumors were that they weren't getting on. Charles wasn't sharing no data with him and how the Ferrari car works. The two teams wasn't sharing nothing with each other. That's what the news was saying. And all we can go as podcasters and YouTubers, all we can go with is what the media tell us, what we hear on social media, what we hear through the rumors. That's all we can go on. That's it. We're not we're not privileged to be in the garage of Ferrari to ask Lewis Hamilton, Wagwan. You get me? So all we can go is what we see via social media and hearsays. That's it. So that rumor was going around for a few months now regarding Charles and Lewis, saying that Lewis wasn't happy with his engineer. Lewis has been rude with his engineer. I've never saw Lewis be rude with his engineer. But that Lazenby keeps pushing that agenda, saying that maybe it's a language barrier. Every single time that Lazenby from F1 Sky Sports keeps pushing that agenda onto Lewis Hamilton. I don't know why, but it seems like he does to me. But Charles come out and said we show unity with Ferrari, and we need to get this car right if we want to compete with the other teams, which is fair enough. When I heard that, I thought fair play. It is what it is. So at the moment, Ferrari are 77 points behind McLaren in the constructors. Think about that. Think about that. This was the team last season who nearly got the championship points for the constructors. They nearly won the constructors last season, Ferrari. And at the moment, we're on round 8. Is it round 8 or 9? I think it's round 9. And Ferrari are 77 points behind McLaren. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, the rumours are, well, these are not rumours, this is facts. This has come out in the media. This has come out in the Ferrari notes. This has come out in the Ferrari debriefs. And this is public knowledge now. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you anyway. This is a brief few notes. The Ferrari are quietly implementing the most aggressive change to the car. Quietly. They've been working on this setup for 7 months, maybe 8 months. They was working on it through the winter. They're working on it through the beginning of the season when it was in Australia. They've been quietly, they haven't really put it out there in the media, because you know what Formula One's like. Once you're doing a setup, other teams want to know what you're doing, then you get the little guys that come along and peep in and have a look at what they're doing. It happens all the time in Formula One. It is what it is. It's Formula One, it's the game. But this one, Ferrari's been quietly implemented the most aggressive change to the car. What Ferrari are having is they're having a redesigned front wing tailored to meet the FIA rigidity standard introduced by the TD18. Remember, this is the rigidity test. They have to have rigidity in the setup, the FIA standards, and it's introduced by the TD18. So that to me shows that Ferrari are messing around. They're going all in. They're going all in. They're going all in. That's how I look at it. So a reworked rear wing. They're also having a reworked rear wing with a flat main plane, and it's intended to recover the downforce level lost earlier in the year. Because at the end of the day, Ferrari has been losing a lot of downforce, especially in the corners, and this is where a lot of their time are losing. A lot of their time. And if they can get that right with the car, the reworked rear wing with the flat plane, and it's intended, yeah, to recover the downforce lost earlier in the year. Now, if they can get that right, they're going to be up there with McLaren. But that's a big if they can get it right. They're also having a new suspension that will allow the car to run a lower and planted, so it'll be more planted to the floor, and it's going to be able to run lower, because we all know, because it's this era of cars, yeah, the lower the car, the better. Whoever's got the best floor and whoever can run the car low, that's when you know you got the best car. So the risk is it could make the tire car, these are the risk, these are the risk involved. It can make the car worse, or it could make the car as good as McLaren. Simple. Very simple. So they're going all in. Ferrari are going all in with this new upgrades. A new upgrade. And they're also having a new suspension, which, yeah, I don't think it's been verified yet by the FIA. It might get verified this weekend. And if they get that in, that they'll be able to hit them corners very fast with low downforce. And this is what they're going for. They've run the checks. They've done it on the computer. They're ready to go. Now, I hope that Ferrari can make a turning point, because we all want to see Lewis Hamilton and we all want to see Charles Leclerc do better. Lewis Hamilton left Mercedes, a struggling Mercedes last season, to come to Ferrari. Now, now he's at Ferrari. Ferrari are not really so good. Mercedes are not bad. They're much better than last season, but Ferrari not so good. So I'm gonna go for it again. The upgrades that they're having on the car, they're having a redesigned front wing tailored to meet the FIA rigidity standards, a reworked rear wing with a flat plane, and it's intended to recover downforce level lost early in the year. Like I said, they were losing a lot of downforce in the year, and they're looking at a new suspension which will allow to run the car low with a flat plane planted to the floor. Now, if that all works and it all comes together, that car should be a beast. It should be a beast. Now, I don't know what's going on in my chat room. But it is what it is. So that's it, really. That's all we can hope for now, is that Ferrari can get their stuff together. This is what we want. We want Ferrari to get their stuff together and start winning races. That's what we need. We need Ferrari to start winning races again, because all eyes will be on Ferrari this weekend. All eyes, the media, the team, other teams, everyone's going to be watching Ferrari this weekend to see that they can pull it off. Everyone's going to be looking at practice 3 when you see the quali sims. Everyone's going to be looking at qualifying when you see the qualifying times, where they're going to be. Are they going to be 6th and 8th again? This is what it's going to be. So it is what it is. So that's the end of F1 Flaming Tarmac. How long have we been going for now? Okay. So F1 Flaming Tarmac, make or break for Ferrari. I want everybody, if you're listening on the audio podcast, to recommend this video to your friends, this audio to your friends, and leave feedback on the iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Amazon Music. For YouTube, I want you to smack the like button. We're not getting enough likes on these videos that we're doing. We're making daily content. All we ask for is for you to like the video, because if you like the video, if you like the video, more people like the video, and it'll get out there in the algorithm. And that's what it is. So this is the F1 Flaming Tarmac. I want to big up everybody in the chat room. Don't know what's going on in the chat room. If it's not about F1, it's talking about football. Chiesa. Okay. So big up to everybody. I want everybody to like that video. See you later, guys. Big up. F1 Flaming Tarmac, episode 72 in the bag. The turning point for Ferrari is now. So the Spain Grand Prix tomorrow. We're doing the practice 1, practice 2, practice 3 watch along. We'll have all the data, all the analysis, all the data times, laps, everything will be on the screen on the watch along, so you can come along and come and chat in the chat. That will start tomorrow around about 12 o'clock midday. That will be practice 1. I think practice 2 is going to be around about 3 o'clock. And then Saturday will be qualifying. That will be practice 3 and then qualifying. And then Sunday it's going to be the race. So that's the end. This is the last of the triple header, by the way. Spain. The last of the triple header. So we've had Imola, we had Monaco last week, and now we have Spain. So this is where we're going to know where Ferrari is. If Ferrari fail this weekend, and the upgrades that they've planned for nearly 8 months and have been getting it on the car, if this doesn't work this weekend, then that means the season will be a dud. That means the season is done. It's over for Ferrari. And I'll have to wait till next year when the new regulations kick in. So I don't know what people think of Ferrari, if you think they're going to come back. I think they will. I got faith in them. I think they're going to come back. I think Ferrari will be fine. I think eventually they'll get their stuff together, and that'll be it. They'll come back stronger. And that'll be it. You can't look, a team like Ferrari, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Eventually it will click, and hopefully it clicks this weekend. So this is Solo P1 signing out. Big up to you guys. Remember to smack the like button. See you later, guys. Flaming Tarmac, episode 72 in the bag. Bye.